The next question. You have been asked to explain the situation regarding the attack on an oil tanker in the Gulf of Oman. Who is really behind that action? Why is Great Britain in charge of the investigation and not Iran, for example?
Because it should receive such coverage in mass media that the United States will receive the utmost harm. In other words, Great Britain will protect the interests of the United States in such a way that at first only Iran will be exclusively blamed, but in the end, as the culprit will be evidently named the United States. What does jump out immediately? The execution of the attack itself. What is the most effective way to sink an oil tanker? By a torpedo or a mine? But any diver can easily install heavy mine in water, because water partially compensates for the weight of the mine. But to install a mine above the water, even 1 meter above the water, it is troublesome. What were the locations of a hull breach? All are above the water. That means that oil tanker should not sink immediately or at all, but should be afire. What are eyewitnesses saying? They say that it was drone attacks, which means flying bombs. As a result of the strikes, were observed fires on tankers. But none of the tankers sank. Some say, here Iranian boat approached and removed the mine. So what? The mine should stay attached to the ship? Someone had to do it, if Americans were not removing it. If it was a torpedo attack, then it would be clear that attack is executed by Americans. If it were not BU, then how could you miss an Iranian submarine that was approaching those tankers and torpedoed them? You have been watching them, right? They didn't want to sink the oilers, that wasn't the issue. The point was to make picturesque damage to tankers for the purpose of creating a catching eye TV picture, and that was accomplished. 4 tankers were attacked in May 2019, 1 month ago. What happened back then is unclear and confusing. Why? There was no picture, so unclear then. But this time it is all clear. Iran is guilty. Iran attacked Japanese tankers carrying oil for Japan. But why Iran would attack those tankers? What for at all? Maybe because the Prime Minister of Japan, Shinzo Abe, just arrived in Iran? This is a present for him, so to say. We supply petroleum products for you. Do you see how we welcome you? We strike your tankers. Obviously, it is absurd. What was the purpose of Shinzo Abe's visit? Shinzo Abe arrived as a shuttle mediator from the United States to Iran to resolve a number of issues. In essence, neither Iran, Japan, or the United States as such needs this attack. Iran wants to reach an agreement with the US, and the US wants to get some foreign policy profit from that agreement. But let's take a look from a different angle. What are the goals and issues of Trump in the governance of the United States? Trump must restructure the United States in such a way that the United States would exist to its own manufacture, stop being a world parasite, and stop to propagandize the American lifestyle when 5% of the population consumes 50% of world energy resources. The United States should leave all regions. But for that to happen, everybody should be convinced that the United States is unable to negotiate with and are unpredictable. The United States reached an agreement with Iran on nuclear deal. It was beneficial for the US then. Now Americans say, it is not beneficial for us, we are changing the agreement. But there are other countries that develop their policies around that agreement, and they need to maneuver now. Who is interested in attacking those tankers now? Iran shouldn't export petroleum products until it accepts the dictate of the United States. This is an American country elite's exact position. According to that, if necessary, the United States sinks ships and shoots down planes. This is their doing. Here we are. Tankers are attacked again. It is clear for all that it is only the US can attack tankers by drones or torpedoes, but the United States blames Iran. By the way, if those strikes were conducted in the region where the US Navy operates, it is one more additional proof of the fighting capacity of the US's fleet. But the US blames Iran. And now, all who are dealing with the US have the question, maybe we should stay away from the US. And under equal possibilities, maybe it is better to deal directly with China, Iran, Russia or India or whoever, only not with the US. They are unpredictable, daffy, and don't know what they are doing. But if we are all unite, then we will make the US behave. There is an ongoing process of creation of the information field for pushing out the US from all regions of the world as an impossible to negotiate with partner. The picture was needed for that, and it was shown properly. Everything is okay. The scenario is played out as planned.